After being fresh from vacation and some much needed time off, we got to talk about how underrated that these LA Charger offseason moves has been. Check it out here on Charger City. Fam, what's good? It is I, Jake Silva, here on Charger Syndicate, giving you everything LA Chargers news and so much more. If it is your first time here up on the channel, I encourage you guys to like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future past videos, as this video is brought to you by greengridiron.com and is, of course, your very own customizable miniature and life-size helmet of your style, your team, your way. Go to greengridiron.com to get yours exclusively. And before checkout, use promo code LACSYN. That is LACSYN for your exclusive discount at checkout at greengridiron.com. Link is in the description. Charger fans, I feel really refreshed. I've been back from vacation and I've been back from some much needed time off. And I know I've been kind of working up a little bit here and there with just trying to get the videos posted up. And of course, moving up into the new place and trying to build back up some consistency up from here. But with that being said, we really got to talk about since the previous video that we had all the way up until we got into the signing of Mike Williams. We got to start talking about some of these offseason moves that still continued on for the LA Chargers. And so those moves in themselves goes from defensive tackle Deshaun Hand that they signed to 1 year, defensive interior lineman Naquan Jones from the Arizona Cardinals that the Chargers also signed to a 1-year deal, a re-signing of quarterback Taylor Heinicke, which I really like in this predicament because at least we have a veteran quarterback up and in the room. Linebacker Delshon Phillips, who could potentially be a very good piece that we could use on the linebacking core and in special teams. Another move, the Chargers getting an offensive guard in Mekhi Becton for a 2-year contract. What a move the Chargers make from here. And then not to mention a few more moves ended up happening from here. Center Andre James, formerly from the Raiders, signs a 1-year deal with the Chargers. Then the Chargers go out and get their playmaker at tight end in Tyler Conklin that they get for 1 year. And then they re-sign an important veteran piece, Tony Jefferson. These moves so far, what I've been evaluating for the Los Angeles Chargers is that these moves in particular has been nothing but guaranteeable minimum contract signing. Now, when you think about losing Poona Ford, who we know is kind of a big hit for us, but at the same time, you replace him with two different players from Sean Hand and then also getting Naquan Jones, who I really do like Naquan Jones a lot more. Now, Sean Hand on the other hand, he basically is a guy that does have a lot of availability, and at the same time, he's also somebody that really does get involved when it comes to the tackle portion. So it's the same thing as well, too, where Naquan Jones really can plug himself in. But from this type of situation that the Chargers found themselves in after losing Poona Ford, they felt like, well, if we could not end up re-signing him, we might as well recreate him in a certain way where we got two players for the price of one. And the entirety of the whole thing was that they lose their big time run stopper in Poona Ford that they needed to replace him big time. So with Naquan Jones, and also with Deshaun Hand, they feel like that these are two guys that could really fill in the hole. And then not to mention also pair him up with a guy like Tier Tart. So there's plenty in the mix that the Chargers really have to figure out from here. And maybe they'll figure it out come the up and coming draft. Now, a couple of other names that were mentioned. Chargers re-signed Taylor Heinicke. With him at his experience at quarterback just tells me that the Chargers were going to probably move on from Easton Stick, which thank God, because it really hasn't been anything but just age and availability in case of anything. But we've seen with what Easton Stick is. And so I would rather feel comfortable with Taylor Heinicke there as one of our backup options in case if something were to happen to Justin Herbert. So I was really happy with the signing from there. offensive guard Mekhi Becton to a 2-year contract. Boy, was that a huge steal for the Chargers. And the fact is they needed to fix up the interior offensive line. Yes, that also includes a center. Yes, that also includes a guard. But when you bring in somebody like Mekhi Becton, who's fresh from a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles, and somebody who is also very physical when it comes to the run opening schematics and providing in quality blocks for Justin Herbert to have a clean pocket amongst with the tackles. That's a huge plus. And even for Mekhi Becton, who came from a Jets organization that started there and then came in and got his skills unlocked by the Eagles, that it was good enough for them to win a Super Bowl. So to bring a guy with an experience like this in, and especially helping out with an interior O line that was arguably one of the bottom half lowest graded interior O lines in the league last year, really does give us a little bit more help. The other underrated pickup was center Andre James. I really liked this kind of pickup because they know that they were going to start with Jackson Powers Johnson as their future. So that left Andre James into a position, hey, he could probably be a 1-year prove it starter. And then at the same time, could that be a solution for the Chargers temporarily until they find their future center, maybe in the draft? But ultimately, it's trying to make up for the type of year that Brad Bozeman had, who we knew was kind of more on the bottom end of all centers in the league last year on PFF. And it's really trying to fix up that hole and gap to where Justin Herbert is not getting mauled right up into the middle, and he has more time to throw and more time to distribute. Another couple of signings that also happened up as well with Del'Shawn Phillips, who's probably going to be a very good special teams unit for us, knowing that we lost Nick Niemann at the end of it. So we needed a tackler, we needed an attacker. But then at the same time, you could also plug him in a linebacking position. Depending on however Jesse Minter really shapes this defense up, I could see him be that type of specialist. Now, the Tyler Conklin such situation, a 1-year deal, to me, it feels like we're taking that gamble because this is a replacement for a guy like Hayden Hurst. So with Tyler Conklin up and in there, he's physical, he's got great hands, and he's also able to fight for first downs. So does this mean that the Chargers may not end up drafting tight end? No, they will. Because truthfully, you bring in a guy like that who is obviously going to be the fire starter for this offense, but you also want to bring in your potential future that is going to be an issue for the division and for the AFC conference as a whole for the next 5 years ahead. So I feel like the Chargers are still on time with as far as drafting need and the position to get at the first round pick. And then finally, Tony Jefferson re signing with the Chargers. Tony Jefferson, like I said, was a great veteran piece, a great addition to the safeties room that is now absolutely stacked and plenty of different bodies from there. Where you start up with Derwin James, you got Alohi Gilman, you got Elijah Molden, and you also have now Tony Jefferson, and a guy that could really step up in roles to where it's either you get tackles for losses, you either get somebody who is very good at spotting the ball and being a hawk there, whether it's passes defended or it could be he could be coming in with some interceptions or two. But at least with Tony Jefferson, he is the perfect, ideal veteran voice that you know that you are going to love having on this Chargers roster. So bringing him back as the veteran voice, and as everybody calls him, Unk, I was very happy that we were able to re-sign him and at the deal and the bargain that we were able to get. These moves right now have been so underrated that not a lot of people are really talking about it. But this is the time where the Chargers know that they're going to need to take a jump. And they really value this draft a lot more. Is that it for all the signings? Maybe not. But we are going to stay up to date any chance that we possibly can for whatever moves the Chargers may potentially make at the end of this. That's going to do it here for me on Charger Syndicate. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future and past videos, guys. And also keeping up with me all off season long as we prepare for the draft. We'll have mock drafts coming up. So definitely check it out on the future videos. Jake Silva signing off, and we'll see you guys. And always remember to bolt up loud and proud.